Hey guys, so I have been debating whether or not I should make this video, and I was really leaning towards there's gonna be a lot of cutting because I keep pausing throughout every word. I don't know why. I was debating whether or not I should make this video because I don't really like sharing really emotional feelings, like genuine feelings or anything that really happens in my life that's negative, because all I want to do is just give off like positivity. But to be realistic, that's not realistic. And I am a human being and I go through shit, and I feel like to really get to know me, you have to know this side of me as well. So this video is just basically me explaining why I have been absent for so long. So if you don't like more of a serious video or just hearing me talk, this video isn't for you. Just go ahead and click out. But I am gonna touch into some touchy subjects about me and my life and just in general. So if you want to hear as to why I have been absent for so long, then just keep on watching, I guess. So I just wanted to start off by saying and just getting it out there, because this does play a really huge factor in my life, is I have depression and anxiety, and I have been dealing with it for about 7 years on and off, and it's just something that is a part of my life, and it's something that I have to and have been learning to deal with. So I have been feeling pretty down and about for about a few months now. I want to say about like 6 months now. I just kind of felt really down for no reason in particular, just missing certain people like my family that I don't get to see very often. It was around the holidays, so I get really emotional throughout that time just because I feel like things are so different, especially when you're older, and I just wanted things to remain the same. I was in a relationship for over 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, and we broke up during December. So obviously, because I was already down in the dumps, after that breakup happened, my depression was just here. It was very apparent that this is something that I was gonna have to go through and fight through, as I have before, but it felt different. So the reason why I didn't even mention anything about my relationship while it was happening was because I had to keep it a secret from my family for reasons that I'm not gonna get into right now. It's just a personal choice, and it just involves me and my family, and I don't feel like that's anybody's business right now. It's not because he's a bad guy. He's a great guy, and I wish him all the best of luck. But there was just something between all that wasn't sitting right, and I really wanted to be with him, so I felt like I needed to keep this relationship hidden and protect it. I've understood that what I was doing was not okay. Lying to my family, hiding it from everybody, hiding it from the public was very hard, and it also took a really big toll in our relationship along the way. I feel it was one of the factors as to why we broke up. I wish him all the best of luck. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a great guy. It's just he and I both had to take different paths in our lives, and unfortunately we weren't meant to take them together. And that's just something life has shown me over and over again, that sometimes people you think are going to be in your life for a really long time, it's not always like that, and you know, you just are gonna have to accept it and move on. When we broke up, I was in a really dark place, very dark place. I would be in bed all the time. I lost my appetite. I lost 15 pounds within a month. I just felt incredibly helpless, and I just felt like I couldn't move, and when I pictured myself in the future, I didn't really see anything. It's like that was it for me, is what it felt like. As I mentioned before, this isn't the first time I've dealt with depression, so I knew of different ways that could help me, but this just really took a really big toll on me, as well as there were other things that happened after the breakup, as my family finding out, as me losing friendships, as me hurting people, as people hurting me along the way, and I was just taking that all at the exact same time, and it was a lot, and no one really knew what I was going through because I just kind of kept it to myself. I was in bed all the time. The only reason why I got out of bed was because I was still working with brands, and I was still working with fashion boutiques, so I still had to hold my end of a job that I had to do. I still had my due dates. That's the only reason why I got out of bed. And it's so crazy because I would post a picture and I would just break down right after or throughout pictures. And it's just so crazy the way social media works, because you could really just be in the worst place, yet it doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem like it. I just felt really fake. So while I was feeling this way, I don't know why, I felt really spontaneous, and my cousins were already planning a trip to Hawaii, so I decided to invite myself and I booked a trip to Hawaii, but that wasn't for another 2 months. This was around January and it wasn't until February. Wait, a month. I'm tripping. Anyway, so I still had to deal with figuring out my feelings, rolling through the punches, trying to heal while I went to Hawaii. Like, I still had to be here. I understand I booked this flight as kind of an escape, as kind of to get away from everything, but it was still not soon enough. Anyway, so I decided to stop feeling sorry for myself and to get out of bed, and I started going out. I started going out a lot, and this was at the time the way I felt like I was going to heal, was going out and hanging out with my friends. Again, no one really knew what I was going through. They knew about my breakup, but anytime anybody would mention it, I would just kind of brush it off like it didn't even matter. I wouldn't tell them about what was going on in my life, about all the lies and everything that caught up to me, all the friendships that I lost throughout the way. I wouldn't really talk about it, because the whole reason I wanted to go out was to just not talk about it, was to forget about it. So why is it that I would just sit there and speak on these things that I wanted to forget? I would go out all the time and I would drink alcohol all the time. I would drink alcohol a lot because I knew when I would do it and go out with my friends, I would be happy, but then I would wake up the next day and feel the exact same way. So it was just a temporary reliever. It was a temporary happiness. I was abusing it. I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic, but I was heading down a path that I didn't want to take. The only one that could really take charge of this change was me, and drinking alcohol was not benefiting me in any way at all. I decided a goal of mine was to stop drinking alcohol for 6 months, like at all. Like, I'm talking about not having a glass of wine for dinner or not having a margarita on Taco Tuesday. I'm talking about nothing. I want to learn how to control it. I want to learn to just have like a beer and kick it, and not have 7 beers and just be completely like drunk. I also decided to live a healthier lifestyle and to start working out and eating right. And I have been looking into it, and I found something that I like, and I found people that really want to help me, and I feel encouraged, and I have this drive inside of me, and I feel like I'm really going to pursue it. I've been wanting to do it for a really long time, but I feel like I'm gonna substitute my happiness that I found in alcohol with something that is actually positive for me and my body and my mental being and me emotionally. I want to substitute it with working out. Mind you, I have already been deciding to work out for a really long time, and I was going to when I got back from Hawaii regardless, but it just all aligned together perfectly, so that's that. So obviously all of these things really affected me and really took a toll on me. I was just walking around like I had no emotion. I wasn't really laughing. I didn't really have a drive or motivation to do anything at all. And I'm not saying it was because of the breakup, and I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that plus everything else that happened afterwards, and then just all piled it on all together. I just couldn't handle it, and it really took a toll on me. It really took a toll on my body, and I don't blame anybody but myself, because I could have been stronger. I could have picked myself up, but unfortunately I had to go through that hard time to realize now that I am capable to handle all this pain. I am capable to pick myself up off the ground. I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want to be up and stay up, and I don't want to carry this pain anymore. I want to carry just positivity, if that makes sense. I remember there was one night I was in Hawaii, the most beautiful place in the world. I was in Hawaii, and I went to the bathroom and I just started bawling, and I was really sad because I had seen so many beautiful things, and I had met new people, seen so many beautiful things, done things that I would have never imagined to do so, and all I could think about was just calling my ex up and just talking to him about my day. I just desperately wanted to hear his voice, but I knew if I would have done that, I would have crossed the line, and it just wasn't my place to do so anymore, and I needed to accept it. And once I came to terms with it, it broke my heart. Something I'm very flawed in is when I'm in a relationship, I depend my happiness on it. I depend my happiness on something that could easily be stripped out of my life, so like an individual. And when this individual left my life, it left me broken, so I had to put my happiness somewhere else, and that's where I turned into alcohol. And that was just a temporary substitution, a really bad temporary substitution. But now I realize, and I always have known, but this is my realization, that the happiness lives, and it has to live within me, myself. And I have to turn this drive, fire, if you will, into something positive, like working out, or like throwing myself into creating content, which is something that I love to do, and I don't know why I stopped. I had, throughout the process, really wanted to pick up the camera and do something for you guys, but I just felt so fake. A picture is completely different because you can easily do that, but for me to just change my personality or try to hide in a way that I just didn't want to, it just felt incredibly fake for me, and I couldn't do it. So I just decided to take a time off and come back when I was feeling a lot better, and that's what I'm doing now. I feel incredibly better. Incredibly better, okay? Throughout this whole journey that I have been dealing with for these past few months, I have prayed, obviously. My relationship with God has grown a lot closer, and I don't want to turn it into one of those videos where some of you guys are just like, ugh, this is going to turn into a religious video. It's just my experience. I'm talking about my experience. I know that God was with me throughout this journey several times. He has shown me. But I think one of this most recent signs, as well as my realization, came literally, it all, like I said, it all just kind of lined up together, was, so I was in the bathroom in Hawaii and I was crying, bawling. So I reached out to one of my friends and I told her, you know, I feel this, and this, and I feel like I'm not gonna move forward. I feel like I'm not happy, which is something that I have been praying for this entire time, was to find happiness within myself. Happiness was always the key for me. It always has been. To me, happiness and love is just something that I need in my life to have a successful life. And I'm not talking about successful like money. I'm talking successful like to know I have a great life. I need those two components. That's it. I was talking to my friend and I told her that I feel like I'm never gonna, you know, move on from this, that I'm never gonna heal, that this pain was just unbearable, and you know, that I feel like it's just something I was gonna live with forever, for the rest of my life. Me being happy just seems so far away. So she, of course, as any great friend, assured me that I will find happiness again, and that I will find it within myself and not within someone else, and that although this does hurt right now, that I'm gonna find the greatest blessing in it. It's gonna be the blessing in disguise. So that gave me a lot of hope. Something I never lost within all of this was hope. I knew God was by my side. It's just sometimes it was lacking in ways that I wanted Him to be present, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I went to bed that night, and the next morning we decided to go to Pearl Harbor. And you can think this is a coincidence, that's fine. I personally am the type of person that sees signs. I'm very hopeful. I'm a very spiritual person. I just see these things as God talking to me in ways that I have been praying for a really long time for Him to do so. So we went to Pearl Harbor, and the ship to go to the memorial was actually broken, and that's the only thing we were gonna do. We were just gonna go to that memorial. So we were like, damn, okay, well, we're already here, we'll just go and explore some other things. So my stubborn ass, went to the gift shop, straight to the gift shop, because I wanted to get pins. I'm collecting pins now, by the way, if you hadn't heard. I wanted to get pins for my wall that I have been creating. And so I saw that my cousins were really distracted with this jewelry booth, and I was just like, okay, bitches, like, it's just a jewelry booth, like, it's alright. So when I came out, they were still there, and I was just like, okay, well, let's just see what's going on, let's see what's happening. So I saw this little sign that said, if you pick a clam, you get to keep the pearl that's in it. And so you got to keep one of 4 clam, or one of 4 colors within a clam, but you didn't know which color you get, and each color meant a different thing. So I was like, this is interesting, and this is something that I really like to do. And I remember I saw the pink one, and the pink one meant happiness. And first of all, pink is my favorite color, and second, happiness is something that I've been craving for, so I really wanted it. But it wasn't up to me, it was just whichever one I got, you know. And I was like, damn, okay, like, what are the odds that I get a pink one? Like, this is gonna be so freaking, I really doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be repeated or whatever. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not the luckiest person, so this was gonna be hard. Anyway, so when it was my turn to choose from the little bowl and it had all the clams in it, I remember one of them struck me, but I'm usually the kind of person that's like, okay, well, if she chose from here, I'm gonna choose from over here, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really the kind of person that just overthinks everything. So finally I was like, no, Melissa, go with your gut, you saw this one first, you're gonna pick this one. So sure enough, I got it, and the lady opened it, and it was pink pearl. And my cousins don't know this because, like I said, I don't really talk about these things, but it was a very emotional moment for me because I felt like, again, it was just God reassuring me, like, you're gonna be okay, and this is what you have been looking for, and this is what you're going to get. But this time, it's gonna be within yourself and nobody else. I turned it into a necklace because I'm just that bitch. I turned it into a necklace because I just, you know, wanted to keep it with me forever. I couldn't just have the little pearl, I'd probably lose it. But it's just a constant reminder that God is with me, first of all. God is listening. And also that although it's not going to be tomorrow and probably not next week, but I am going to reach my goal of finding happiness within myself as well as love within myself. Anyway, so a quick, like, another thing too, and I'm not like associated with this at all, but I kind of wanted to give it a quick shout out because this did help me out so much. It kind of just gave me like a different perspective on things. So this book helped me out so much, and yes, I am the reading type bitch now. What's up? Your girl is intelligent. No, but this book is called This Is Me Letting You Go by Heidi Prevey. Anyway, it looks like this, and it helped me out so much. Anyway guys, I feel like this video is long enough, longer than I wanted it to be, and I know some of you guys are probably like, oh, you didn't have to make this video, like, you're so extra, but that's fine. It's just something that I felt in my heart that I needed to do. Anyways, I'm pretty sure there are many more things that I wanted to say, or that I wanted to talk about, or that I could have gone more into detail or clarified a little bit more, but I'm not really good with my words right now, and I just kind of want to give an explanation without giving too much into detail because this still is my life, and I just feel like to a certain extent it's my business. Anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video, which is gonna be soon. Okay, love you guys, bye.